What's going on, everyone? It's the Fantasy Football Almanac, back at it with another fantasy football video. Today we are going to be covering Week 5 waiver wire pickups, so you guys can absolutely dominate your league mates. But before we get into it, if you guys could, please go down, give this video a like, give this video a comment. I am answering every single fantasy football related comments, trades, starts, sits, waiver wire, anything. I'm more than happy to help you guys out, so just go down below and give me a comment, and subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on, so your league mates don't stand a chance, you don't miss another video. But with that, let's get into our first guy. It's literally going to be like all running backs today. But our first guy is Tyler Algier. All right, so the first player is Tyler Algier. And I'll combine Caleb Huntley into this because both of them are on the same team. They should see a split workload at this in Week 4. Tyler Algier having 10 carries for 84 yards. Caleb Huntley 10 carries for 56 yards. So on the outset, it sounds like Tyler Algier is the better running back just from these splits, but again, a very small sample size, so you can't really judge too much off of it. But I would prefer Tyler Algier over Caleb Huntley slightly, because Tyler Algier is the rookie they brought in this season, and he's seen workload in multiple games, getting 10 carries in Week 2 and 6 carries in Week 3, so he's done it before. But Caleb Huntley is also a name to monitor, because he did also get 10 carries for 56 yards, so it's clear that he does look to be utilized in this offense as well. I would prefer Algier if you could get him. He's the guy I would spend the most money on. I would say 20 to 25% of your fab, because Cordarrelle Patterson is on the IR. We're not exactly sure when he's supposed to be back just yet. But since this does look to be a split backfield, I imagine Algier will probably control more of the carries. I mean, having 44% of the snaps this week with Cordarrelle Patterson getting 9 carries, I imagine that probably goes up to 60-65%, which is enough for 15-16 carries in an offense that looks to run the ball a lot. Considering Mariota, I mean, he had 7 completions last week. They want to run this ball. Caleb Huntley only had 22% of the snaps, so I think his role will decrease, but is at least worth a stash if Algier does not look to be the lead back next week. We'll see, though, but I would say both of these guys are must pickups. And now, my next set of guys that are also must pickups and are also a duo of running backs, I got Latavius Murray and I got Mike Boone. So, I'm not really too sure. I don't know why tons of running backs went down this week. Jonathan Taylor being one of them. Javonte Williams out for the season. Cordarrelle Patterson. But a lot of guys are out, and this leaves some pretty murky situations in the running back rooms. So the next guys we got are Mike Boone and Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray just signed off the the Saints practice squad to the Broncos. And Mike Boone, a guy they have been bringing in intermittently throughout the season. I mean, getting 5%, 10%, and 20% of snaps so far this year, and now 36% of snaps in Javonte Williams' wake. So I'm imagining they are going to use him a little bit at least. I hope this isn't a three-headed monster, because fantasy football would not be fun if this were a three-headed monster. But it could be, so I would not recommend spending as much as I think people are going to spend on a guy like Mike Boone. But Mike Boone most certainly will be getting at least 35-40% of snaps, and he does project to be the third down guy. So I think he has a fine pickup. And then Latavius Murray looked really good with the Saints this week, having 11 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown, also a reception for 8 yards. So, I mean, Latavius Murray could figure to be involved in the situation, which would make the whole situation a lot more gross. I think these guys are at least worth a stash, but I'm not willing to spend as much as I think some people would on guys like Latavius Murray and Mike Boone, just because I think this is going to be an ugly situation. But we'll see. I think they're at least worth a pickup, at least worth a monitor. But I wouldn't spend, if I had my number one waiver wire spot, I would probably save it. Maybe I would give it to Algier, but it depends on how badly you need a running back. If you don't need a running back, I would personally save it this week. Actually, I take that back. I was looking at the waivers today. I see that Raheem Mostert is still only 49% rostered, barely clearing my 50% roster rate. I mean, I would go snatch Raheem Mostert immediately. Raheem Mostert, I don't know how he's only rostered in half of all leagues. Again, 49% of leagues and 8% started, 8% starts fair. But go out and get Raheem Mostert right now. I would absolutely spend my first waiver wire pick on Raheem Mostert, getting 55, 56, and 72% of snaps over the past 3 weeks, getting 15 carries for 70 yards this week, and another 3 targets, 2 receptions for 12 yards. I mean, this guy figures to be on the field a lot. Chase Edmonds, he may be the goal line guy, may steal some goal line carries, but if Raheem Mostert's getting 70% of the work consistently, that's a guy you can trust to put up decent fantasy points in the wake of, let's say you have Jonathan Taylor's injured. I mean, I would absolutely go after Raheem Mostert. He is my claim one now. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I cannot believe he's 49% rostered. Go out and get him right now. And then apparently, since this is the running back show, I mean, it's just tons of running backs. Two more running backs that I would really like to go out and get. I wouldn't spend a high waiver wire pickup. I wouldn't spend a lot of fab. But Isiah Pacheco, 24% rostered. I mean, he looks to be more and more involved each week in this offense. Handling 11 carries, 463 yards. Whenever he's on the field and getting carries, he does look good. Yes, it's mostly for garbage time, but I mean, he's at least worth the roster spot, especially if Clyde gets injured. It's clear that he's the running back 2 now. And yes, Clyde had 20 carries last game, but I mean, Isiah Pacheco with 11, that's fine. If Clyde goes down, if McKinnon goes down, this is going to be a split backfield here, but a split backfield in one of the most valuable offenses. So I think Pacheco's at least worth a roster spot. And then continuing talking about the running backs, he is over my 50% roster rate, but I do want to mention him just in case nobody has him. I would at least go out and pick up Brian Robinson. I think he's worth a scoop. Just because we don't know what the split's going to be once Brian Robinson's back, but it could be really favorable for Brian Robinson. Again, I'm not 100% sure. It's a shot in the dark. It's a dart throw. But I think it's at least worth a shot because, you know, why not? And then a guy I like on the Buffalo Bills, Isiah Mckenzie. I mean, he's just fine, 43% rostered right now. He is getting fairly heavily utilized. I mean, he has taken over the Jamison Crowder slot receiver role, so I think he's at least worth a shot. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for my waiver wires for Week 5 video. I don't think there's anybody else that really is warranted of talking about. It's not over 50% rostered. It's a pretty light week, but a lot of running back injuries, so if you do need a running back, I'd say now this is the week to go out and get one. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please go down and leave a like. Again, I'm answering every single comment, so trades, start sits, anything. I really want to help you guys out down below. And subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on so you do not miss another video. But with that, as always, guys, have a good day, a good night, and a good life.